Hey, this is Carrie from Wrap Your Head Around Silks. Today we stretch, and this is my start of the day stretch. This is also the stretch I give to all my students when they walk in the door from their cars, from their jobs, from doing a full day in the office. You can do this if you're not an aerialist. It's a very, what I call pedestrian, accessible, and it really helps me open up the back of my legs, my hips, and get rid of my lower back pain. All right, so we're going to start with our crisscross applesauce position. 3 times to the right, 3 times to the left. Now, as you see, my shoulders are moving, my head is moving. It's juicy, it's like honey. It is meant to be a wake up for your body to kind of trick itself into starting to move, especially when I do this right as I get out of bed, which I do many times. So let the head be heavy. We want to start getting movement there because all of our time on the computer, in our car, our head is on a stick and it doesn't have a lot of movement. We need to relax those tense shoulder and neck muscles. And I'm going right to left, just sitting here in my crisscross applesauce. This feels super nice. Okay. And I'm diving down to a right side hamstring stretch. So you might not be able to come this far down, but that's okay. I'm working through my feet. You can do this stretch in real time with me. So instead of just watching, go ahead and hit the floor. Watch me do this and do it at the same time. It's less than 15 minutes, and it's super accessible for everybody. And if you're an aerialist and you have a lot of flexibility, it still feels really good. It's a great way to start, and it's really short. I'm going to work through those feet and also use my hands to point and flex my feet. Also working and waking up the flexibility of my metatarsals. Back of the knee, really straightening into the ground. Feel your hips going back. And I take a lot of movement here, right? So I'm wagging right to left. I'm kind of shifting right to left to get different angles of the biceps femoris. All those 4 hamstring muscles that are behind the back of our thigh. We need to get all those angles. And I like to take an opposite hand to the foot, pull away a little bit, get the opposing lat, just to kind of open that up. And then diving over 2 feet. If you cannot reach your feetsies, you can grab your shins. Same thing here. My head is heavy. I'm stretching the back of my neck. I'm stretching my mid-back, lower back. I'm wagging my tail. I am pushing through feet and pushing my feet down with my fingers if I can reach. My legs are straight, but you can do some bend and straight if it feels nice, especially with your hands here wrapped around your feet. Yeah, bring your chest closer to your legs. And if you want to bend and straighten your legs there too, it works great. 2 hands. I'm going to slide them back. Your fingers are pointing towards your feet. Slide the hips close to the heels, and I'm going to bend my elbows. You see there at 90 degrees. Looking up at the ceiling, opening all the things. So I'm wagging the knees. I'm opening the back of the shoulder blade, trying to pull it away from the rib cage. And letting the head bob back and giving it some loose movement through my head and neck. Flipping the hands, feet together, chest expansion. So we're going to open up the chest, sternum to the ceiling, let the head drip back. Eyes of the elbows pointing outwards. And then we're going to take some rib cage rolls here. Roll it, roll it, roll it. Roll it, roll it. Make it feel like it's separate from the body and that we can move right to left, front to back with that rib cage. All right, here we go into our spinal twist series. Compress the leg, bring it into the chest, and then bring it all the way over. I have my bottom leg straight, and I'm taking big arm circles with the top arm, both directions, whatever feels nice. And let your opposing shoulder be as far down into the ground as possible on this. Again, you might not have the range of motion that I'm showing here, but that does not mean that you cannot get so much benefit from this stretch. Free motion through that opposing arm, and you want to open the heart so that your chest is facing the ceiling. Your collarbones are pointing up to the ceiling, even though we're taking that big, spinal twist. Okay. Happy baby. This is why babies love it, because it feels so good. So in a happy baby, we are in a flat spine. So the neck is trying to make it into the ground as much as possible. You're flattening the bottom of your spine, your lumbar spine, into the ground. Okay, we're going to bring one leg straighten and keep the other one bent. You can use your hands to press into the ground. And then I'm going to flex and come back to my happy baby on my opposing side and stretch out. The side closest to the wall there. Okay? And then we're going to take 5 rock and rolls. I'm going to rock. Oh, we're using yoga and Pilates as well as some functional movement practices here. I'm going to rock and roll 5 times into my downward facing dog. All right, coming into our down dog here. We are going to walk out the feet. So pedal it out. Breathe. I want you to feel like your tailbone is pointing up as much as possible. The arms are straight. The fingers are spread as far as possible, and you're pressing your chest closer to your thighs. We're going to go to our plank position 5 times from down dog. Breath to movement. Articulate through the spine to your plank, shoulders over wrists. And this should feel like it's moving, yes? We are going to start moving on silks or get started with our day, and so we're not static anymore. We're kind of moving through our poses, and then chaturanga all the way down. Now, I did the lazy version here, bringing my legs into the ground, and I'm going to straighten my arms like sticks into the floor, shoulders down, and let's make the neck nice and long. Okay, now I'm going to stay in our up dog position a little bit. I move my hands back a little bit, and I'm giving myself some organic movement. Head roll, shrug the shoulders back. If you're anything like me, it'll feel quite crunchy. Okay, and then arms like sticks, shoulders down, gaze up. Try to bring the hips down. Oh my goodness, it's super crunchy, my friends. My legs are a little bit wide here, a little bit wider than my yoga mat. And then wiggle, wiggle, wiggle the hips. Coming into our cat-cow, I'm doing the forearm version where I'm going wrists out away from me and going into my first cat-cow. Breathing through, dropping the belly open, the heart. Exhale, cat position. And then here I'm taking organic movement. So rolling through the rib cage, head and shoulders. I'm flipping the hands. I'm bending the arms a little bit, getting some movement, swaying. I'm trying to move at all joints from the hips up. This will feel really nice on your back and shoulders. Kitty cat, 2 fingers, spider tip the fingers out in front of you. Hips are over the knees, and you're going to hang your chest into that little hammocky type of situation. Sway right to left. And moving into our lunge series. I'm a lefty, I always start on the left. This is a basic runner's lunge. I'm a little turned out in the front. And I'm going to move into a half split a couple of times. Even if it's 10 times, sometimes I take that much time because my hamstrings are that tight. Okay, so I'm coming into my lunge again. Hips high, bringing your hips over your base knee. And I'm wagging my hip with a flexed ankle there. Last time here, wagging the hip, turning in and out with that leg. Now we are going to add on to our side position. I'm rotating the back leg, knee pointing up, chest forward, heels back, hips back. And then through my free leg, point and flex, moving through that free ankle, rotating back to a twist. I have my hand a little farther out, and I'm going to bring the seam of my pants into the ground. And then moving into our quad stretch. So opposite hand grabs the foot. I'm going to use the same wag here. I'm going to wag so that I'm getting different angles of the quad, which is 4 muscles. Okay, I'm walking my left foot to my right hand and coming into my pigeon position. Now, this can feel tight even after all that stretching already. It's tight on me the first time I do this in the daytime. So I'm going to go through 2 positions. One is our regular pigeon here, and then I'm going to go sleeping pigeon after. Sleeping pigeon is just laying down, walking your chest down, trying to stay on top of this pigeon position. My right hip is trying to yearn down to the ground. Likes to pop up a little if you're, not open yet for the day. Sometimes I use a hand on my hip to literally push my right hip down. Last pose in this series is a pretzel. I'm going to cross my ankles so that they're tucked into my hips and just do a nice forward fold. This will get the glutes, and a compression is always good for the nervous system. Okay, we move to our second side. My second side is my right, and I'm going to move through my runner's lunge to my half split as many times as I need to start feeling open through the back of that front leg. I like to flex the ankles when I'm doing hamstring stretch so that we get the most out of it. I like to point too, but that flex is really great for beginners and really making sure those toes go back as well. And I'm moving with the stretch. It's not fully static. We are doing movement through it to get different angles of the muscles that we're trying to open up. And wag it out. You guys, if you have time, if you have more than 15 minutes, take time there. Hips go back, heels go back. I want that to be your own turnout position, so knee points up to the ceiling. If you have to bring that straight leg a little more forward to get that knee to point up, great. Do it. Twist. Left hand is a little farther away. I'm going to bring the seam of my pants down into the floor. And this helps stretch the space between your hips and your rib cage. Quad stretch. Opposite hand, dropping the hips. I'm going to bring that heel into the booty and wag it out a little bit. And I like to take the wag. It helps me remember there's not just one quad muscle, but 4. I'm going to gently release, walking the right foot to the left hand, pigeon pose. Even after all of that, I am still tight in my pigeon, okay? I like to take my back foot and turn it under itself so that I can make sure that the knee is pointing down and that it's right behind me. As you see, my leg is not fully straight. That is okay. Sometimes I like to straighten and bend it in this sleeping pigeon pose 10 times. That's an option too. Back leg goes on top. This is our pretzel. It's not a full double pigeon. I felt like that's a little extreme for my students in the first 15 minutes of class. So we go to a pretzel. You guys, if you love this video, you can play it and repeat it and do it every single morning or right before bed. It doesn't keep me awake. I can fall asleep really quickly after this. Utilize this how you need. Maybe it's right before you go into a workout session. All right, my friends, this is Carrie from Wrap Your Head Around Silks. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.